advised.
Do you remember any time in your whole life when you weren't performing? Not really, no.
For years, Michael Jackson told the same story. His childhood had been stolen from him.
My childhood was completely taken away from me.
An arrest warrant has been issued for pop singer Michael Jackson.
Long before the sexual abuse scandals, the public hysteria, and the conspiracy theories around his death,
Michael Jackson is actually still alive.
his life was consumed by exhausting, relentless, and punishing work. He was the classic American celebrity monster, born and dead inside the machine. But what has Michael Jackson to do with someone like Justin Bieber?
What'd you say? What'd you say?
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn. And
you smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
I don't ever remember smelling that good at 16.
Before we can talk about how the industry can be deadly to someone like Bieber,
Justin Bieber's been arrested for drag
we need to
racing.
first understand, very quickly, what actually happened to Jackson. The story starts with the Jackson 5.
Here is the youthful Jackson 5.
A group of brothers packaged into one of the first boy bands ever created. From the outside, what they did looked amazing. But from the inside, things were, and pardon my French, pretty shitty.
There was no Christmas, there was no birthdays. It was not a normal childhood, no normal pleasures of childhood. Those were exchanged for hard work, struggle, and pain.
While other kids were playing or going to school, Jackson was rehearsing all day and dancing and performing and answering questions.
is there anything anybody hasn't asked you by now?
I think they've asked me everything so far.
This poor man's life has been dissected completely. However, there must be some questions because we got a ton of mail and I'm just going to rip off some.
He worked like a slave. And the person enforcing all of it, the manager, was also his father. And when something went wrong, it didn't stop at professional criticism. It actually turned into violence and physical punishment.
You know, and he practiced us with a belt in his hand. And if you miss a step, expect to be...
His father was brutal, and Michael spent his childhood working and being pushed, controlled, and punished by the same person that was supposed to make him feel safe and protected.
You just said that you would practice the dance steps and your father would be holding a belt in his hand. Is that what you just said?
Yes. And he would tear you up if you missed. And so we, not only were we practicing, we were nervous rehearsing because he sat in the chair and he had this belt in his hand. And if you didn't do it the right way, he would tear you up.
Really, but you were only a child.
I know.
You were a baby.
I know. It's one thing to discipline.
And you were producing successful records.
I know. He would lose his temper. I just remember hearing my mother scream, "Joe, you're going to kill him. You're going to kill him. Stop it. You're going to kill him." You know, and I was so...
Even after the Jackson 5 lost their spotlight, the logic behind the family act kept working. The child at its center, Michael, was treated as the most profitable part of the product. So he became the solo star.
Michael Jackson.
But things didn't get any easier. In fact, the work got even more demanding, and the control around him more strict. The more famous he got, the more the media turned his life into a freak show. And the language was brutal. They called him Wacko Jacko, a cruel nickname to make fun of his appearance, and his overall being, well, perceived as weird.
People might say he had overindulged in plastic surgery, but they don't know what went on before. Michael had a disease also, and the color of his skin was changing, vitiligo.
The media turned him into a character, something you don't have to empathize with, something you can just watch in amusement.
I don't read all the things written about me. I wasn't aware that the world thought I was so weird and bizarre. But when you grow up, as I did, in front of 100 million people since the age of 5, you're automatically different.
Since his childhood, adults controlled his life, while the media controlled the story around him, leaving him without real control over himself and treated as less than fully human. In 1993, things got darker and uglier when Michael Jackson faced disturbing allegations, as mentioned earlier.
There have been many disgusting statements made recently concerning allegations of improper conduct on my part. These statements about me are totally false. As I have maintained from the very beginning, I am hoping for a speedy end to this horrifying experience to which I have been subjected. I shall not in this statement respond to all of the false allegations being made against me, since my lawyers have advised me that this is not the proper...
He always denied them. But from that point on, the public was split between those who believed in his innocence and those who believed the accusers, with neither group fully convincing the other. With time, a younger generation didn't just see Jackson as a pop icon. They inherited him as a cautionary figure, someone who became a living example in public that the music industry is not ashamed to take a child, make him famous, and ruin his life to profit off of him.
That is a Grammy that every...
Through the years, names and faces changed, but the industry stayed the same. Sure, the gatekeepers shifted and the focus moved to the internet, but the machine is still as dangerous as it ever was. And this finally takes us to 2007, when Scooter Braun, an up-and-coming manager looking for new talent, came across videos of a young Justin Bieber posted online by his mother. Videos that, at first, weren't intended as some big strategic move. His mom was just sharing clips for family and friends. Videos of him singing covers at home or performing at local talent shows. But eventually, those videos went viral.
Yeah, actually, Justin is not just healthy like I prayed, but like I said, he's really talented. And he is now the #1 most subscribed to musician in Canada on YouTube.
On YouTube.
And number 20th in the world musician in Canada.
And we heard him sing.
We met him here.
So when I saw Justin, while everyone told me no and everyone thought I was crazy, I knew exactly what to do, and I saw the plan until he was 18. Like, I just knew. I was like, this kid's going to be the biggest artist in the world. I know exactly what to do to help him become that.
Bieber was 12, an innocent kid singing songs on YouTube. But the system that found him knew exactly what to do with someone like him. It started in a way that felt small and harmless. Bieber's mom uploaded videos of him singing to share with family and friends. But those clips spread and eventually landed in front of someone who was not just watching, but looking for something to build. That's when Scooter Braun moved quickly. He contacted the family and brought Justin to Atlanta, where he met Usher, an artist he admired and covered many times on his channel.
Yeah, so wait, how did Usher enter the picture? Scooter's a friend of Usher's?
Well, basically, we were going to the studio to meet up with some people, and Usher was rolling up at the same time, so that was kind of how that connection happened. And then Usher...
He was brought into rooms with some of the most powerful figures in the industry. I mean, these were not casual meetings. These were environments where deals were made, and the rules were different. And he was, what, 13?
Usher and then Justin Timberlake also wanted to sign me. He was actually, Scooter worked with him in the NSYNC days, so they kind of knew each other, and he, introduced me, and he wanted to sign me. So both Usher and Justin, wanted to sign me. So it was pretty crazy.
And eventually, he was also introduced to Sean Combs, better known as Diddy, which at the time looked like a big opportunity. I mean, we're talking about a young upcoming artist who went viral singing on YouTube, now being welcomed into the highest levels of the music industry.
As soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna let you rock this every time you come to LA. Yeah, it's gonna be yours. So every time you come to LA, it's a little dusty, but you know.
Breaking news tonight, Sean Diddy Combs has been arrested in a Manhattan hotel this evening after a grand jury indicted the
Today, after all the allegations that have came out against Combs, these moments are, honestly, a little perplexing. They carry a different weight, that's for sure.
But yeah, the keys is yours when you know.
Bieber was still a teenager, but everything around him belonged to an adult world. The pace, the expectations, the kind of rooms he was entering, all of it asked more than someone his age could fully understand.
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old.
Soon after, they got him a deal with a label. And after that, the machine around him started moving crazy fast. His music, his image, his public presence, all of it was shaped and curated to reach as many people as possible, while still feeling familiar and innocent to the audience that found him online. In this phase, the goal was one: to push him in front of as many people as possible, as often as possible, to make him feel as familiar as possible, even to those who had never watched a single YouTube video of him. That first wave reached a peak in December 2009 when he performed at the White House Christmas tree lighting for Obama. Think about it for a second. This was not some Nickelodeon teen concert or some opening act for a local band. It was a national stage and part of a long-standing tradition, and it placed Bieber in front of the entire country. In a matter of months, he had moved from online discovery to a level of visibility most artists never reach.
You know what we can do is, did you have a question? I do know.
Then, in early 2010, My World 2.0 arrived, and with it came Baby. A song that got played everywhere, reached far beyond his original audience, and pushed his album to #1 on the Billboard charts. Clearly, the strategy had worked, and at this point he was no longer just a YouTube kid or whatever. He was fully established as a teen idol.
Can I say this? Lean into me again. You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
I don't ever remember smelling that good at 16. Like that was bad.
Yeah.
Wow, look at your eyes. What music are you listening to at the moment, Justin?
Well, I listen to a lot of different stuff.
But every success comes with a nasty spoonful of shit that not only you gotta eat, but you're also expected to act like you're loving it. While on one side, a loyal fan base treated every appearance like the second coming of Christ. On the other, a growing backlash turned him into a punchline. He was hated and mocked for his music, for his haircut, and for, I don't know, being so liked, I guess. In retrospect, it's a bit embarrassing how even adults actively hated someone who, was simply a child.
Because you are dating Selena Gomez, and she is one of our favorites. She is a wonderful girl. We love her.
His relationship with Selena Gomez, who was already a major star herself, attracted even more attention.
A CD out, you've got a clothing line, you're an ambassador, right? And I don't know how you have time to date Justin Bieber.
What? Oh, gross.
the media obsessed and fixated over what essentially was just a relationship between two kids. When the relationship started to break down in 2012, the split became a headline, and his fan base started to pick sides.
Because I know Selena got death threats. I heard she got death threats on Twitter.
Yeah, people are mean and people say mean things, and but at the end of the day, I still have to be happy. I mean, unless I can't be single my whole life.
Right.
I think the fans know that. They know that I can't be single. They're upset because
it's not them.
It's not them, of course.
I know
if
somebody
I could be with everybody, all of the fans.
Around that same time, there were moments that, even if people brushed them off back then, were kind of wild. I mean, try to imagine how this would have been received if it was an older man acting like that with a young girl. And that's really the tension that was building. He was still a teenager, but nothing around him was treating him like one. The expectations, the exposure, the constant attention, all of it was coming from a world built for adults.
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second. Yeah.
Soon enough, the headlines started to change. A confrontation with a neighbor in Calabasas over reckless driving.
What the fuck did you say? You heard what I said, man. What'd you say? You heard what I fucking said, mate. Lose your fucking...
Tense exchanges with paparazzis, reports from Europe about shows starting late and being allegedly rude to fans. The same system that had once presented him as bright and approachable now focused on every detail that didn't fit that image. Every misstep, every reaction, every moment of tension became part of a new narrative.
You heard what I fucking said, mate. Lose your fucking...
Part of it is a natural consequence of how the entertainment industry truly works. It's actually super easy to package and sell a young, talented, innocent kid. But as his teen fan base grows and deals with their own shit, they need to see that their hero is vulnerable too, or he'll stop feeling relatable to them and sales will drop. Once that cycle starts, it quickly turns into a spiral. As the negative gets amplified, the kid starts to feel unjustly targeted and misunderstood, which results in anger. And anger results in more clashes with paparazzis and more mistakes.
You heard what I fucking said, mate. Lose your fucking...
I don't look at it as a negative, though. I look at it as a teenager. He's a teenager having to live his life in front of a camera. Imagine if you had to do that as a teenager.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine.
Imagine if there was a camera there when you were a teenager. Would you like that?
It would have been fantastic.
The real turning point came in early 2014. Bieber was arrested in Miami Beach, accused of drag racing, driving under the influence, and resisting arrest.
We're here at the Miami Beach Police Department where Justin Bieber was brought after his arrest. He has since been transferred to a Miami-Dade County jail.
This was different. This was no longer gossip or headlines built on small moments. This was a police stop, a mug shot, and real charges. And that changed how people looked at him.
Bieber was arrested in South Florida.
Even if we have all seen this kind of story before. Young stars who grew up in public with no real space to change. Britney Spears, for example, had been pushed so far into the spotlight that her struggles became public entertainment. Or Michael Jackson, that we saw earlier, who spent his whole life being judged against the idea people had formed about him. Bieber wasn't living those exact stories, but the systemic issues were the same. He became famous as a kid, and there was never a quiet moment to slow down. Constant movement, constant attention, and very little space to be human and make mistakes.
Billie Eilish, who in her own way
albeit in a different era, dealing with this very, very public explosion of success and of attention?
Yeah.
Did you feel protective of her?
Yeah, I definitely feel protective of her. It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn and everyone, telling me they love me.
When Bieber talked about Billie Eilish becoming famous, he did not sound like a guy hyping the next pop takeover. He sounded like somebody who had already been through this shit and hated it.
So I just kind of, let her do her thing, and if she ever needs me, I'm gonna be here for her. But yeah, just protecting those moments because people take for granted encounters and yeah. So yeah, I just want to protect her,
The pain in his voice carried a kind of awareness that only comes with maturity. To understand where that comes from, you have to go back to January 23rd, 2014, when the cops pulled him over, as I mentioned earlier, after a late-night street race in a rented Lamborghini.
Justin Bieber's been arrested for drag racing on Miami Beach. They just tweeted this alert, and they also said that according to police, he failed a sobriety test. So again, as you can see in the bottom of your screen there, WSVN reporting out of Miami.
What followed turned into a global spectacle. He was arrested and charged with driving under the influence and with an expired license and resisting arrest.
It was determined that he was impaired. During the investigation, Mr. Bieber made statements that he had consumed some alcohol and that he had been smoking marijuana and consumed some prescription medication. He's currently here at the station. He's going to be transported to Miami-Dade County Corrections. Once he was here at the station...
It didn't need much explanation. A 19-year-old pop star in a supercar racing through public streets, the backlash was pretty much unavoidable.
You don't pay attention to things. I'm not glued into pop culture, but somehow you just can't not know what Justin Bieber's up to once a month, just walking around in the world anymore. But
what had started as a bad episode ended in a formal criminal record after Bieber agreed to community service, anger management counseling, and a negotiated resolution in place of a full trial. The pattern was the alarming part. What began to stand out was not a single Miami arrest, but a string of petty, ugly episodes that made it seem less like an isolated lapse and more like a trajectory.
All right, give him some space. Give him some space. Give him some space. All right, you guys.
The 20-year-old threw eggs at the Calabasas mansion of his then neighbor, Jeffrey Schwartz. The DA's office said the damage went beyond kids' play.
What happened at the neighbor's house, for example, only reinforced that narrative. Throwing eggs on a wall read less like an evil crime and more like a young star still testing boundaries that other people had already learned.
Did he go through things a lot of teens go through except their name isn't famous?
Well, yeah, I egged houses when I was a teenager.
My son did.
Yeah, I the night before Halloween.
He egged cars.
Yeah, I never had a SWAT team show up in my house to look for the eggs. That is the only thing that he's on probation for, egging a house. So I think what happened...
The real question was whether anyone could keep him from spiraling out of control and do worse damage to others or to himself.
What bothered me so much throughout all of it was a lot of people were putting blame on my parents.
Yeah, they're blaming them. Well, because people say it starts at home.
Yeah.
He's that way because that's the way he was raised.
And that's not at all the way I was raised. This is the man I was raised to be. You go against what your parents want you to do. You do that to rebel. You do this, it's not their fault. So I just want to say that, my parents are awesome, and it would mean a lot if people would stop disrespecting my parents, because they raised me incredible and instilled morals and things into me that I wouldn't be here and doing all this amazing stuff if it wasn't for those people.
That's got to be tough. Not even the stuff you're going through. Imagine the headline.
He tried to shift the narrative in 2015. He pulled back from the brutal visibility that had built his career, started showing up less, and kept away from the public eye. The strategy made sense in theory. In practice, it left the impression that fame had worn him down into bitterness, and that he was simply done with it. After years of chaos, constant movement, and public pressure, Bieber seemed to be reaching for stability in 2018 with his marriage to Hailey Baldwin. But the marriage was surrounded by the same relentless and brutal judgment that followed everything else in his life.
For most people to be handed that type of existence and all of that scrutiny and all the shit that comes along with that, like that does things to people, you know.
Fans, critics, and the media treated any tiny gesture or dumb detail as some super important clue, dissecting them for a secret meaning and searching for some hidden message about their married life. But that's not the story we're following here.
This morning, Justin Bieber says he's battling Lyme disease.
The singer made the announcement on Instagram on Wednesday.
Then in 2020, Bieber revealed he had Lyme disease.
Patients often describe it as having a flu that'll never go away.
It was a clear sign that something had been wrong for a long time, not just in his image, but in his body.
Oh yeah, I have Lyme disease, Lyme, Epstein-Barr. That's why I've been looking like absolute hell. But your boy's getting his baby face back.
A couple of years later, he appeared on camera with part of his face paralyzed due to Ramsay Hunt syndrome.
As you can probably see from my face, this eye is not blinking. I can't smile on this side of my face. This nostril will not move. So there's full paralysis in this side of my face. Ramsay Hunt syndrome.
Something deeper was going on, and that showed up in the business too.
He went through real stuff. He's a real person, and I'm very proud of him because I have friends who went through stuff at 18, 19, and they don't come out of it till they're 30. And to see where he is now, a year later, happy and healthy, and having that perspective, I'm very proud of him.
Scooter Braun had helped build Bieber from the start. When Bieber was young, that looked like guidance. But as he got older, the relationship changed, and control over his career created some tensions between the two, which culminated in 2023 when they officially parted ways. And this raises a harder question. How much of his life had ever really belonged to him? To answer that, you have to look at what was missing. Privacy. Bieber never really had it. Every change in his life was documented. Every little dumb thing turned into speculation. Every expression, every post, every appearance treated like something that had to be collectively taken apart and judged and examined. That's not normal adulthood. And it's a horrifying childhood.
As a society, we tell our youth we want them to succeed, we want them to succeed. Yet if youth succeed, we immediately belittle that and say, you don't deserve it, you're too young.
Child star fame creates a cruel shift. The applause begins with innocence, but it doesn't stay there. Once the child grows up, the same audience that once embraced him starts judging him by the adult they imagined instead.
You've gone through your whole life, if you're that person. If you're Justin Bieber, you've gone through your whole life.
Under that eye.
Under the eye, and it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and more people paying attention. Like, you never had a moment like you did where you're working for the railroad tracks.
Right.
Or like, I did going on the road for years, or some of the jobs that I had before it was...
That's why the Billie Eilish moment is important. He's not speaking as a kid who loved his rise to fame. He's speaking as someone who had been deeply traumatized by the industry.
I just want to protect her, I don't want her to lose it. I don't want her to, go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. So, yeah, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call away.
And when someone can accept their pain, it changes how they show up. Which takes us to 2026, when Bieber took the stage at Coachella, one of the biggest platforms in music. But instead of a huge, overproduced comeback, he did something much simpler. He plugged in his laptop, pulled up his old YouTube videos, and sang over them.
All right. This one is really
For a moment, it felt like everything had come full circle. And for a moment, even if for only a moment, it felt like he was a kid again. A kid who loved music and loved YouTube. A kid who had fun singing. The same kid he was before he got famous.